Have you ever wondered where the Cheyenne people, one of the most prominent tribes of the Great Plains, originated from? Let's delve into their history. The Cheyenne, an indigenous people of the North American plains, trace their roots back to the Great Lakes region. It was from there that they began a significant migration westward in the 18th century. This journey was not just a physical relocation, it marked a profound transformation in their lifestyle and culture. The Great Lakes region, with its abundant water and forest resources, had fostered a woodland culture among the Cheyenne. But their move to the Great Plains introduced them to a new environment, one dominated by vast grasslands and roaming buffalo herds. This shift in surroundings necessitated a change in their way of life, from semi-nomadic woodland hunters to horse-riding buffalo hunters of the plains. The Cheyenne's migration to the Great Plains marked a significant shift in their lifestyle and culture, setting the stage for the events that would follow. The 19th century brought about significant changes for the Cheyenne people. But what were these changes and how did they impact the tribe? As the 1800s dawned, the Cheyenne were leading a semi-nomadic life on the Great Plains. But their world was about to be rocked by a series of events that would forever alter their way of life. In the early part of the century, westward expansion by the United States brought encroachment on tribal lands. This tension culminated in the signing of the Fort Laramie Treaty in 1851. This treaty was supposed to guarantee peace and clearly define tribal territories. However, it ended up causing more harm than good. The influx of gold miners and settlers disregarded the treaty, leading to more conflicts and disputes over land. The tension escalated into violence in 1864 during an event now known as the Sand Creek Massacre. Colonel John Chivington led a surprise attack on a Cheyenne village, resulting in the death of hundreds of Cheyenne, predominantly women, children, and the elderly. This brutal act of violence shocked the Cheyenne and galvanized them into action. The Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876 marked a significant turning point. The Cheyenne, allied with the Lakota Sioux and Arapaho tribes, faced off against the United States Army. The battle resulted in a decisive victory for the tribes, including the Cheyenne. It was a short-lived triumph, however, as it led to increased military pressure from the United States government and ultimately forced the Cheyenne onto reservations. These events of the 19th century had profound implications for the Cheyenne people. They faced loss, displacement, and a forced transition from their traditional way of life. But despite these hardships, the Cheyenne demonstrated incredible resilience and adaptability, traits that continue to define them to this day. Through triumph and tragedy, the 19th century proved to be a pivotal era for the Cheyenne people. As we moved into the 20th century, how did the Cheyenne people adapt and navigate through the challenges of a rapidly changing world? This question warrants a look back at significant milestones that shaped the destiny of the Cheyenne in the 20th century. Let's start with the establishment of the Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation in 1884. Although technically it was established in the late 19th century, its impact reverberated well into the 20th century. This development marked a shift from the Cheyenne's nomadic lifestyle to a more settled existence. While it imposed restrictions on their traditional ways, it also offered a sanctuary where they could preserve their culture and identity amidst the encroaching modern world. Moving on, the Indian Citizenship Act in 1924 was another turning point. Prior to this, the Cheyenne, like many other Native American tribes, were not considered U.S. citizens. This act granted them citizenship, allowing them to vote and participate in the democratic process. Although it was a significant step toward integration, it also brought new challenges as the Cheyenne had to navigate a system vastly different from their own. Then came the Indian Reorganization Act in 1934. This act aimed to reverse the assimilation policies that had earlier been imposed on Native American tribes. It encouraged tribes, including the Cheyenne, to establish self-government and to preserve their traditional culture and customs. For the Cheyenne, this meant an opportunity to revitalize their tribal institutions and strengthen their community. However, it also required them to adapt to a new form of governance. These developments posed numerous challenges, from cultural preservation to political adaptation. But the Cheyenne people rose to the occasion. They leveraged these changes to protect their interests, preserve their culture, and carve out a place for themselves in the modern world. Despite numerous challenges, the Cheyenne people persevered, demonstrating resilience and adaptability in the face of change. They stand today as a testament to the enduring spirit of indigenous cultures in a rapidly evolving world. Now, how do the Cheyenne people continue to honor their history and culture in the present day? Today, the Cheyenne people continue to be a vibrant and proud community, steadfastly preserving their cultural heritage. They reside primarily in Montana and Oklahoma, living both on and off reservations. Despite the challenges brought on by modernization, they remain deeply connected to their roots, practicing their traditions and speaking the Cheyenne language. Education plays a significant role in cultural preservation. Cheyenne history and traditions are taught in schools and community centers, ensuring that younger generations understand their rich heritage and ancestral roots. The Cheyenne people also celebrate their culture through various events and festivals, such as the annual Northern Cheyenne Chiefs Powwow, where traditional dances, music and storytelling bring their history to life. Now let's take a brief walk down memory lane. We started our journey with the origin of the Cheyenne people, discussing their early migration to the Great Plains around the 16th century. The Cheyenne thrived, living in harmony with nature and developing a profound spiritual connection with the land. We then moved into the 19th century, a time of great upheaval for the Cheyenne. The encroachment of European settlers, the signing of the Fort Laramie Treaty, and the tragic Sand Creek Massacre marked this period, testing the strength and resilience of the Cheyenne people. The 20th century saw further challenges, but also moments of triumph. The Miriam Report of 1928 and the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934 were significant milestones, impacting the lives of the Cheyenne and other Native American communities. From their early migration to the Great Plains, through the trials of the 19th and 20th centuries, to the preservation of their culture today, the history of the Cheyenne people is a testament to their strength and resilience. Their story is not just one of survival, but of a deep and enduring commitment to their heritage, their values, and their sense of community.